My name is Paige Pierce. My PDJ number is 29190. I'm sponsored by Prodigy Discs, Twisted Fire, Keen, Bearded Brothers, and Whale Sax, and Cali Connection. So my favorite hole out here is probably hole 2 now since I aced it. I don't think I could top it now, but yep.
John, I have about...
And welcome to the back side of the course. Paige Pierce carrying along an OB here on her tee shot on hole number 12. Correction, hole 13.
Hey, I'm Sarah Hokom, PDGA number 34563. My supporters are Legacy Discs, Paragon, Cali Connection, and my favorite hole out here is hole number 13, my favorite number.
Hokom getting over on her Firebird, looking for it to hook up at the end. She's going to be on that left-hand side.
My name is Bygde. My PDJ is 8559. My favorite hole out here is hole number 22, obviously. And my sponsors are Prodigy Disc and Under 54 Disc Golf.
Regna with a very straight shot. Again, you're not getting any skip on the grass out here. It is very thick and lush.
I'm Valerie Jenkins. My PDGA number is 17495. Sponsored by Innova, Huck Lab, Grip Equipment, and Keen Footwear. And at the Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships, my favorite hole is number 16. It's shooting over a bunch of tall grass. I bogeyed it the last 2 rounds, and so I'm gonna birdie it today. It's gonna be my favorite hole ever.
Jenkins throwing a little low that I believe is a rock. She's gonna have a long putt. Seems to be some confusion about her or Paige being on the tee, but Bjerkaas is ready to go.
Hi, my name is Paige Bjerkaas. My PDGA number is 33833. My sponsors are Dynamic Discs, Fade Gear, Throw Colorado, and my favorite hole out here is number 20.
And she's looking for that to stay straight and not tail too hard lefts. She'll be putting from the fringe on that left-hand side. Oh, and again, Jenkins. She's had a few long putts today, jump putts and otherwise, and seems to be just a tad off. Not that that was an easy one by any means, but Paige Bjerkaas is looking at least at a 40-footer, slightly uphill. She's going to have to give it a little extra power to make sure she gets it up and over that rim if she wants to take a birdie here. Regna is, I'd say, approximately 30 feet away. Again, slightly uphill. And beautiful putt by Regna. No problems for Paige. She's going to card a penalty 3 at most. She may be giving away 1 stroke to Hokom. That's if Hokom can convert here. Hokom currently sitting on a very slim lead, and Paige has come out firing here this morning. This is going to be a battle throughout the rest of the afternoon here. Hokom just a bit high on her birdie attempt, so she will not take advantage of the penalty 3 by Pierce. And we're going to see a solo birdie by Ragna, with the rest of the group taking par 3s. We've moved over here to hole number 14, which is a uphill shot with a slight turnover for a right-handed backhand thrower. Ragna getting caught up. Just gonna have a long putt from there. Pierce going with one of only 2 forehand shots here. Oh, looks like she is going to go with a different disc selection. I believe this is the D2 that she aced with yesterday. Yesterday she also threw this shot on this hole and came up short. She threw it too low. And catches the same tree. Sarah throwing her champion Firebird. And a very popular spot, unfortunately. The players do have a considerable amount of room on their left-hand side if they're throwing a turnover or a forehand. However, all of them are hugging it very tight to that right-hand side. Val has a rock in her hands. If she can get a wide turnover out here, she might be looking at the only birdie opportunity if she can get it up and turn it over to the right. And albeit short, it will be unobstructed. Branches in her way. Sarah's going to have to lay up to this elevated green. And Bjerkaas also has branches in her way. And right of the pin is Paige's birdie attempt. And Ragna catching the only birdie 2 here on the uphill hole number 14. Bjerkaas will tap out. And Paige with no problems. Both Jenkins and Hokom will tap in. I'm going to move on down to the slightly downhill, almost paralleling hole number 15. Ragna Bygde first to tee here and comes up approximately 20 feet short of the pin. Paige Pierce with a standstill shot coming in nicely and just 12 feet deep of the pin. Maybe challenging to follow Hokom's shot. I expect a slight turnover of her Firebird. And it Kicks off the trees and also within 12 feet of the pin. Bjerkaas with a wider route than most of the competitors. She's come up a little bit short. She'll have at least 25 feet. There is virtually no wind whatsoever out here right now. The humidity is much stronger than we found yesterday or the day prior. Mid to high 80s at the moment. It's supposed to surpass the 90-degree mark. And Jenkins is deep by about 28 feet. And Val, not so much with the grip there. And Bjerkaas also just a bit off. And Bygde converts. Little sweet chain action on that right side. Little body English brings it in. I believe that is her 4th birdie in a row. No problems for Pierce. As I said, Hokom left with less than 10 feet. And Hokom converts as well. We move on to the short but yet tightly guarded hole, number 16. Yeah, solid putt here by Paige Pierce. Oh, and Ragna's putt is in and out, just a bit short. And Bjerkaas converts. And Hokom will relinquish the lead, or I should say sole possession of it with that putt. She will now be tied with Pierce. Jenkins taps in We see birdies by the Pages, Bjerkaas and Pierce, and pars by the other three. 2/3 of the way complete. The Rocky Mountain Disc Golf Championships. Stand still drive here by Pierce. Nice gallery here in the open air pavilion. And Bjerkaas right near the pin as well. Big D's going to finish left, but pin high.
Oh, man.
And Hokom answers. And a perfect AVR shot by Val Jenkins. And Big D with the easy tap in. Expect to see the same out of all 5 pro women. This hole sponsored by Vibram. I know CTP discs were given out yesterday to the closest competitor on this hole. Vibram not only a huge supporter of the event, but also in part helping bring this entire weekend's coverage to you. Steve Dodge and Vibram Disc Golf supporting the women and supporting the Disc Golf Guy video blogs. Thank you to everyone. Paige throwing her 150 class putter. She's going to be on that left side of the pin. Absolutely crushing that disc all weekend. And Bjerkaas throws a beautiful shot, which seems to be right next to the pin. And the hometown favorite gets a large reaction, as she should. Ragna's going to need a little more height. It's going to be just a bit short. Again, no skips whatsoever on this long grass out here at Purple Park. And a forehand with a slight turnover. Good looking shot there by Hokom. And Val's is heading slightly right. That should hook up a little at the end. However, she'll have a long putt from there.
There.
Oh, and just like hole number 16, in and out for Ragna. Oh, and similar result, unfortunately, by Jenkins. In and out. And after going OB, which we did not realize off the bat, Pierce is able to save her par 3. She'll take a penalty stroke for going out and over the sidewalk. However, still able to remain bogey free. Hokom can take a one-stroke lead if she can convert on this putt. And Hokom is in for the birdie 2. Bjerkaas parking this hole, putting herself just a foot and a half away, barely more than a release. So birdies by Bjerkaas as well as Hokom. Bjerkaas going right up the middle. She should have a putt from there. This hole, pretty small gap to hit. Hokom short. And Pierce hits the line perfectly, and she'll have a short uphill putt from there. And Ragna is going to get through as well. And straight up the middle with a rock, just a bit short for Val Jenkins. Good layup here by Hokom. Bjerkaas is in for the birdie. And with that, Paige has again knotted up her and Sarah. And Ragna is good as well. As we can tell, Val has had a few struggles here. And she is lighthearted about it and gonna move on to the next hole. Paige throwing an M4 mid-range here on this 352-foot hole.
Lipa, come in.
Asking for a little flipping action here, unfortunately not getting it. Sarah's turning over and coming out nicely to the fairway. Great shot.
Nope, I have to go, but I thought.
Last to tee. Val throwing a very nice shot.
Great shot.
Finishing up on the left-hand side though. Bjerkaas going with a spike hyzer, which I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah, good
However,
job.
gets a good kick. Paige with a long putt, a little on the strong side. Hokom from 35 is just left. Bjerkaas will tap in for her 3. Paige Pierce looking to do the same. And we'll see pars from the other 3 ladies. Again, we've got a great battle, just holes 21 through 24 to play. 22 being the single longest hole out here, a true par 4, an elevated basket on top of some rocks. You're watching the Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. Bjerkaas on the tee, looking for a little turnover here on this downhill. She'll have a putt. Paige throwing her 152 gram PA1. She throws that on approximately 15 holes out here. You can see why. And Ragna going right for the pin and hits the base. Beautiful shot by Ragna Bygde. I believe that is a putter. Sarah Hokom has a Firebird in her hand. And if that can come in, Sarah's going to be left with a birdie opportunity. I'm guessing just inside 30 feet. Val Jenkins told me before the previous tee shot that it's broken. There's always next weekend. Val going with a rock right at the pin. She'll making that for birdie 2. Just short for Bjerkaas. Hokom converts. I said inside 30. It was probably less than 25 even. Paige will tap in from 10 feet. And we're going to see birdies here from both Jenkins as well as Bygde, who I believe hit the base of the basket. Card that as a dot. A couple sponsors in the background in this beautiful backdrop. Again, you're out here watching 2015 Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. Paige Pierce with a putter off the tee here on the 541-foot par 4, the longest hole of the weekend. Playing for the accuracy with OB right and left. Putter off the tee. And Ragnar with a huge crush. That's going to carry down to the right. Looks like Don Smith is actually running down to verify that must be close to OB. Unfortunately, it is. So a Hokom shot down and to the right as well. Val Jenkins, fourth to tee. A very nice shot that's going to carry after it hooks up. Gallery loves it. Huge crush by Val Jenkins. Last to throw, Paige Bjerkaas. Bjerkaas going with a high hyzer route, just playing it safe. Great shot. Hokom's forehand is carrying short and right. And Paige giving it everything from her standstill. And she'll have a putt from there.
Yeah, Paige.
Good approach by Paige Bjerkaas. Ragnar with a standstill approach. And after Val's crushing drive, she's right next to the pin. And Pierce goes with the layup here. Did not like the headwind that she was faced with, nor the distance. She also knew that she is currently tied with Hokom, and Hokom is going to be carding a 4 here at best. This is Ragnar for her penalty 4. And just barely catching a little chain, unfortunately carrying past. And the group letting Bjerkaas tap out. She's going to card the 3. Ragna's in on the elevated basket here. Page, no problems. And Hokom with a basketball style up and over putt. And they're going to remain tied with just 2 holes to go. Val Jenkins with a drop in, overhand drop in birdie here on hole number 22. Nearly perfect shot by Val Jenkins.
Yeah.
Val says she doesn't want to putt, hence parking the hole. Bjerkaas hanging it a little wider than she was looking for.
Didn't she say 3? Oh.
And Page with an early release through it OB on the left-hand side. And yesterday we saw exactly 1 backhand drive from Hokom, and she had absolutely parked it today. A very successful throw as well. Great shot by Ragna, hole 23. And Paige has to lay up as she has very little ceiling there. Bjerkaas had gone OB, and she'll be settling for a bogey 4.
Yeah.
And Hokom takes a 2-stroke lead with 1 hole to go. Paige going OB. And Ragna with a slight mental lapse there. Said she had held on to it a little too much. Bjerkaas will tap in. Page is in for the bogey 4, and Ragna will be settling for a par 3. Just 1 hole to go after Val Jenkins taps in her birdie. Birdie. Birdie.
Hole 23, Sarah Hokom. Oh, sorry. Valerie Jenkins. Paige Pierce.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, nice job. Yeah, good play. I'm missing Eric.
Good job, Nate. Solid, bro. Solid.
Always a pleasure.
This guy.
Always a pleasure.
The entire
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Nice coming out.
Yeah, looking for a little more turn than she had yesterday. That'll give her a slight downhill putt. Yesterday she had to lay up as she was on that left-hand side. And Hokom has thrown OB into the water. Ragna asking for it to hit something that may have carried too far. We don't have a spotter down there at the moment. Paige Bjerkaas. And Paige with a good looking shot. If Paige Pierce can put this next to the basket and get the birdie, she will force Hokom to make her penalty putt. And we have not seen the end of this yet. Paige Pierce throwing a great shot here on the final hole. After carrying OB, Ragna hits the pole. She'll settle for a bogey 4. Sarah Hokom will be carding a bogey 4. Paige Pierce will tie this up with a tap in from less than 6 feet. Next, Val Jenkins. Val's putting woes all the way to the end, unfortunately. And Bjerkaas finishes strong with a birdie 2. Gallery loves it, of course, the hometown girl. And Pierce is in. And Val taps out as well.
Paige Pierce?
2.
Paige Bjerkaas?
2.
Right.
4.
Okay, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.